Hi, it's Rex at Harmony Hollow. Today we're going to be showing you how to mix up a simple sugar solution to feed your bees. We'll be showing you the mixture of ratio of water to sugar, and then how to invert those sugars to simple sugars for the bees to have easier nutrition to take up. Alright, we're going to heat up another 2 liters of water. I've got the first 2 liters that I've already put into the stock pot. Water by weight is 1 kilogram per liter. So we're going to be using metric measurements. It's just easier that way. So 5 liters, which is 5 kilograms of water, to 10 kilograms of sugar, which works out to about 22 pounds. For a 2-to-1 mix of sugar to water ratio. So far I've got about half the sugar added and a little less than half of the water added. About to add the second 2 liters, so that'll bring me up to 4 liters of water. Now, the sugars that we're feeding to the bees when they don't have a nectar flow, from the store, this is a sucrose. Sucrose needs to be broken back down into its components that are glucose and fructose in order for the bees to more easily take it up and use it as their own food for getting them started this spring. So to make that inversion, or to make that change or transformation, we do what's called inverting the sugar, and we use citric acid at a ratio of 1 gram of citric acid per kilogram of sugar. So since we have 10 kilograms of sugar that we're working with, I've measured out 10 grams of citric acid. I'm going to go ahead and pour that in now, and then all the sugar that gets put in here to dissolve will be affected by that. And like I said, we are going to be boiling this for a period so that it all dissolves and gets clear. But the ratio of 1 gram per kilogram of sugar is the important part for inverting sucrose into its components of fructose and glucose. So let's go ahead and pour in the 10 grams of citric acid. Meanwhile, my next batch of water has just started to boil. Alright, so we still have a little bit of sugar crystals in the center here. Oh, that could be the citric acid. But since I added that almost the rest of the water, it really cleared up. It was very foggy looking. It was opaque. You couldn't see through it. So now we're going to start adding more sugar. I'll probably go ahead and put the rest of the sugar in. And that concludes the last of our water. That's 5 liters of water total. And we've got 22 pounds of sugar. And 22 pounds of sugar is the same as 10 kilograms of sugar. And then we have 10 grams of citric acid to invert the sugars. So I'm going to bring this sugar, water, and citric acid mix to a boil. Still not at a boil, but I do want to stir it occasionally so that the heat gets dispersed evenly throughout the mix. Alright, we're getting our boil started. Once it gets to a rolling boil, I'll let it go for a few minutes. Now that the boil's finished, I turn off the heat, and I'm just going to leave this on the stove to cool overnight. Tomorrow morning, once this is cooled off, in fact, tomorrow it'll still be hot, but it'll be cool enough that I can lift this without worrying about burning my hands. And then I'll use a funnel and pour it into this water container. This is a 7-gallon container, and with the nozzle, it allows me to easily pour that into the feeders and hives. To recap, today we've mixed in 10 kilograms of sugar with 5 liters of water, and then we added 10 grams of citric acid to invert those sugars from sucrose back to glucose and fructose. So, in doing so, we give a sugar that's easier for the bees to convert to energy for them to use as they come out of winter and before we have a nectar flow on. All right, enjoy your evening. I sure.